What's going on, everybody? This is C Double. I'm with the All Wrestling Talk Nation, and yes, we're on YouTube today. We're actually kind of going back to the old schools for today. A lot has gone down, a lot of stuff went wrong and went bad, but you know, I'm a guy that's going to call it out the way it is. So me and my guys are en route. So if you have not heard already, we were on a show, and we were All Wrestling Talk and the crew went down to Decatur, Alabama, and I wanted to start the show off like this. To the good fans of Decatur, Alabama, all 20 of y'all that were showing up there, I want to say for my All Wrestling Talk show, we're sorry. We didn't know about the way this was going to go down. We were embarrassed. We were very upset. The second half of the intermission never happened because we waited and the promoter lied to the wrestlers, to the vendors, and to the fans. So, with that being said, there will be a special show. We will expose this little bastard, and we will make it very clear that from now on, any wrestlers, anybody that dares mess with the wrestlers' money and the workers' money and the fans, All Wrestling Talk's coming after you because we're done. You know, there's days for professionalism, but those days are gone when you go off and screw guys that needed their money and women. There are a lot of good vendors out there. I'm going to do a special show. I want to make sure I address everybody. So fair warning now, if you all were part of the show, get with me. I want to get your names. I want to get your companies. I want to make sure you all get the proper respect. At least I'm going to respect you with the respect that you guys deserve. Now, with that being said, like I said, so a lot of the questions are going to be pointed because my guest is also one of these guys that believes that it's time for people to stand together and rise up against really crappy promoters. So, with that being said, you know, I want to thank my special guest, Mr. AJ Steele. AJ, how you doing, buddy?
Dude, I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming to the show, for being a part of it. You know, I've been waiting for this, been looking forward to having you on. So I wanted to just thank you so much, man.
Oh, there's no problem. Actually, I've been kind of looking forward to this. I've done a couple of these podcast deals, and I heard a lot of good stuff about you and yours. So I'm ready to roll, baby.
All right. Well, like I said, Indy Superstar Spotlight, it's all about you. We talk about the hardships, the trials, but I wanted to kind of go on this route. First things first, let's just kind of go into it. You know, what was the reason you became a wrestler? What, you know, put it in your head to go, you know, I want to try this out.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I need you to adjust something because I'm having a hard time hearing you.
All right, give me 1 second. We're going to fix that real quick.
Yeah, you're good and loud right now.
What's up?
Radio check, still in business.
Yeah, they are. They're under a different name. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
You got it. I gotta go get me $750 off. My phone was there.
I know. I'll look it up for you. Let me finish this and I'll be there. Okay. Thanks.
I'm gonna get it.
I know. All right. Apologize for that, everybody. But yeah. Can you hear me now? Really?
Yeah.
All right. Good. All right. Now, give me a second. I'm getting all this for you. What is it that made you want to become a wrestler? What was the moment where you said, I want to know what's going down. I want to know I want to become a wrestler. I want to do this.
I've told this story a million times, and I'm going to tell it again. I was, you know, sitting as a kid, sitting in the living room watching Sesame Street, and it was like when cable television first came out, and I'm living in New Jersey, and my mom. And, well, my dad lived in New Jersey too. He just didn't live in the same house with us. Flipping through channels, and I just recently posted it on Facebook. The very first encounter that I ever had with professional wrestling, I saw Bob Backlund was in the ring, and he was supposed to be wrestling one of the Moondogs. instead of it being one-on-one, of course, it was Captain Lou Albano and the three Moon Dogs, and Bob Backlund was just kind of out there holding his own. They kept trying to get to him, and eventually he jumped out the ring and he went into the back. He went back behind the curtain, and he came back out with Hulk Hogan. And watching that was it for me. Like watching Hogan come down to the ring, and the crowd went bananas, and he beat the hell out of everybody in my back when they cleared the ring out. And I have been hooked ever since that day. And I knew that was what it was that I wanted to do as a child. I know you heard that from a million people, but as a kid, when people asked me what did I want to do, it was always to be a professional wrestler. I never wanted to be a fireman. I never wanted to be a cop. I never wanted to go to the military. I said that I was going to be a professional wrestler.
Awesome. See, that's the stuff that everybody loves to hear, because, you know, that's a lot of different guys, you know, it's like, you know, this is the business. This is something that is just, you know, I saw Hulk Hogan, or I saw Ric Flair, I saw Dusty, you know, and it's like, that's like one of those moments you're watching, you go, man, this is what I want to be. So, man, right. I mean, this is beautiful. You know, that's always a good thing. So now, you know, training, building yourself up, you know, what was the moment that you realized, all right, I'm here, you know, I'm working, you know, what the hardest moments in training, what was they? What was the biggest challenge for you? Was it personality, you know, training?
The hardest moments of training for me, well, first of all, I was trained by Jerry Oates, and I know a lot of people are probably familiar with him. He trained Marty Jannetty from the Rockers, Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty's partner. The hardest thing was actually the beginning, because where a lot of other people started wrestling in a ring, the way Jerry trained me was you had to kind of graduate to the ring, meaning I started on a 6-foot mat. I took headlock takeovers on a 6-foot mat. I took just regular bumps, learning how to bump. I did everything on a 6-foot mat. The reason being is because the wrestling ring is, you know, 14, 16, 18, 20 feet, but all of the action should happen in the middle. You know, that was what he taught me. Everything should happen in the middle. So when you only have 6 feet to work with, everything's going to happen right there. So the hardest thing for me was being able to stay on that 6-foot mat without breaking my ankle, or, you know, hurting my leg from taking bumps or bumping off of the mat. And once I actually got to the ring, it was like landing on a bed, because that 6-foot mat had very little anything in it as far as give. So it was like wrestling on the floor almost. So that would be the hardest thing, because every bump you felt, you know, every time I had to go over, and he would make me do arm drags over and over and over and over again, or headlock takeovers over and over again, or just regular back bumps, face bumps, everything I did, like I said, was on that 6-foot mat. So that was definitely by far the hardest thing that I had to deal with, because once you get in your room to move around, I didn't.
All right. Now, believe it or not, you know, like I said, I got to tell you, when watching your matches, I've actually seen you for quite a while. I remember you wrestling in the Rampage Pro Wrestling Circuit over in Warner Robins,
Right.
over at wonderful Johnny G's. But, you know, so I've seen you wrestle there, and I kind of, you know, I know you've been around, you know, this business for a good while, but go ahead and just kind of tell us, you know, for the ones that have not seen you wrestle, you know, and like I said, you know, in Georgia, we've seen you wrestle. I know you wrestle on Bama, but for the ones that haven't seen you outside the area, who is AJ Steele? What, when you come through that curtain, what do you expect from AJ Steele?
I feel like AJ Steele is a man who is totally focused on beating everybody. AJ Steele is probably the most focused, most intense guy that I've probably seen. because of where he comes from, the mentality of working out, in my opinion, is taken from the gym to the ring. That intensity has to happen because people, the fans love brutality. The fans love high impact moves. The fans love intent, come to the ring and just destroy whatever is in front of them. So AJ Steele to me is that guy who is super intense, who probably drank too many scoops of workout and decided that he was going to become a professional wrestler, and he just became a wrecking ball. Intensity is key to me. Like, if you don't have it, I have intensity in every aspect of my life. I don't have to do anything. Everything that I do has an intensity to it, and that's, to me, what hopefully separates me from everybody else, because everybody doesn't have intensity. So that's AJ Steele.
See, and I'm going to tell you, in the business, I don't know, it's always hard because, you got guys that don't know who they are. It's like,
Right.
they have an idea, or they want to play a gimmick. And look, gimmicks are awesome if you could connect it with the personality. Because I've always
Right.
felt that if you could connect it, if there's like a part of you that just clicks with that personality, the gimmick, it's going to go over. So, how much AJ Steele in that ring do you connect with your wrestling persona?
Well, I know this has been said a million times as well, but most people's character, or most people's gimmick, or whatever, is an extension of themselves, and I don't have to become like, there's that switch.
Yes.
Antoine Jones is a father. I'm just a regular guy. You know what I'm saying? I go to the gym, I work, stuff like that. But AJ Steele, he's on a whole nother level, but we're the same, because I still, like I said, even that, I said, boy, I got a son, and we're out there and we play hard. So, like, my girls play softball. So we practice hard, even though they're young, but it's still, the intensity has got to be there. And AJ Steele and me, we're definitely very close to the same person. It's just, I guess, levels of AJ. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm getting ready to walk to the ring, the level is, the machine is broke on the level of where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? If it's a 1 to 10, I'm on 1,000, because I'm ready to go out and I'm ready to entertain these people. I'm ready to run through whoever it is that's standing on the other side of the ring. I'm ready to, I want to be what people talk about when they're leaving the show and they're getting in the car. No, I'm not the best technical wrestler in the world. Yes, I can. But when I can just pick a man up and completely slam his back out and destroy him, I'd much rather do that than be technical.
Well, it's, everyone's going to get paid. It's just how you decide to do it.
There you go.
Yeah. So all right, we talked about the style. Now, full throttle intensity, which is always a good thing. A lot of guys say it, and then a lot of guys can do it. What? Now let's talk about the other part. The learning the wrestling, the mat. Now I want to talk about, how did you, what were the ways that you felt mic-wise? Did you had to have, was there a struggle for you getting on the mic, or was it kind of natural? Because you know how some guys, it's really hard. Some guys, it's just easy as cake.
Mic skills, to me, in the beginning, was difficult, which it is for a lot of people. It goes back to what you said about believing who you are, believing your character, knowing who you are. It took for me to be in some bad situations, believe it or not. I was working for a company, and actually I was working for Rampage, and it was a situation where something negative happened in the back behind the scenes, and there was an issue about money and stuff like that, and that pissed me off. And when it pissed me off, it made me look at the business differently. Because, you always hear stories about people being cutthroat. You always hear, negative things about the business. And it had just never happened to me. So when it actually did happen to me, it put me in a very dark place to where I started really being, if you go look at my promos back in the OGCW promos, I was the John Cena of the, I don't like to compare myself to John Cena, but, it was that generic babyface, bubbly, yay, I'm going to go out, we're going to have a great time, and it was more that than it was me, but it was me as a young, innocent kind of kid in a business that was full of sharks, And then once I became a bigger fish, so to speak, and saw how the shark thing works, I saw that I got in a place where I was a little angry, I was a little bitter, and you start to really speak from your heart about things. And so when they tell you you have to really know your characters, it has to be an extension of you, it really does have to be in your heart. Like, I show things that I mean. When I tell a man that I'm going to beat his ass, I mean it. I'm not just talking to try to sell tickets. I'm trying my best to make you understand that you are not man enough to be in the ring with me. And if you decide to come that night, I'm going to show you that you want man enough to be there.
I hear you, man. And, that is key. Let's talk about some things now. This is now we're going to get into kind of what we had to deal with, what happened to us on Friday. And then you came up with a passionate post.
Fix your mic, bro.
All right. So is that better? All right. So you came with a passionate post behind Shane Andrews, a fellow All Wrestling Talk guy that was on our show, and he's going to be on again with his partner Nick and Jezebel. But we all got screwed basically. But we know in the back that when wrestlers aren't good, people throw them under the bus, or promoters will throw anyone under the bus. Promoters have the right to try to boss guys around, some guys will kind of think they own you when they start paying you. Well, we had a promoter that didn't do that. A guy that pretty much lied to us, screwed us all. And, you said what you said, and I actually would like you to feel free, if you want, to just speak your mind on that topic. And, we dealt with a guy, his name is Terry Teague. I won't call him a man because a man doesn't do that shit. So, but yeah, this is all wrestling talk. I'm going to,
well,
speak your mind.
I did hear, I read Shane's post, and like I said to you earlier before we actually got on the air, I don't understand why more people don't expose the negative promoters, because number one, let me go ahead and say this, there are, and I've been fortunate enough to work with some really good promoters, and that people who have been honest, people who have done what they said that they were going to do on a financial basis. When it comes to hotels, people who have had all of the, paperwork done. You don't have to stand and wait for a hotel. You don't have to argue with people at it. I mean, I've had guys that have really been stand-up guys and have done business the way businesses should be conducted. So the first thing I want to do is thank those promoters that have been, 100 with me and everybody that I've ever worked with, any crew that I've ever been involved with. I appreciate those promoters, number one. Number two, for the ones who do the things that what just recently happened, where they have a show and they promise guys money and they don't deliver on their end of the deal. I feel like they should be exposed, especially because we have got to look out for each other. Us as workers have got to look out for each other, because nobody else is really going to give a damn about us. I mean, Some of these promoters are out to make money by any means necessary. Like I told you about different company that I've worked for in the past that, excuse me, UIW. I worked for a company where their ring was shit, you know, and guys were going out and getting hurt. And the question was, when are you going to fix your ring? You know what I mean? And if the promoters can set up a ring and sell tickets and make money, then the money that they're making should go back into the business, meaning we should have a ring that we can work in where we're not going to get hurt. And if you don't fix it, then I'm not wrestling. And if I show up to wrestle and your ring is broken, you are still going to pay me. So when it comes to these promoters, I feel like they should be exposed. And you know, if they can come back from it, meaning being men of their words or women of their words and do the things that they're supposed to do by us workers, the fans will be happy to buy tickets. But if you're not being a man of your word and you're not doing the things, you know, you got guys driving from wherever the hell Shane and you guys came from to drive all the way to Decatur, Alabama, and there not be, you know, anybody to wrestle in front of, nobody can make any money. That's a problem. That's a problem. And you know, and there's a lot of people that handle that problem a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
So the promoter needs to be prepared to deal with whatever way that these people are planning on handling business, because, you know, sometimes shit gets rough.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it does, man. I mean, you know, it's one of these, you know, it's the old saying, a few things you don't mess with: a man's food, a man's woman, and definitely a man's money. You don't mess with that money. You mess with that money, crap's going to go down, you know.
Absolutely.
And, you know, Decatur, Alabama cops, y'all were good, but, you know, appreciate it. Just know next time, you know, go take pictures with Bolo. Just saying.
Well, and I would like to say this too. I don't know him personally. You said his name is Terry T?
Yes, Terry T.
Okay, I don't know him personally, so I'm not necessarily, you know, going in at him. Like, I've never done business with him. I actually was supposed to be on a show this Friday that he promoted. I have not heard anything about the show, and as of right now, I won't be doing the show because, you know, you can't dick guys around and then they actually tell me, okay, we had a show and nobody got paid or whatever the situation was, and me consciously go to that show knowing that there's some drama behind it. I try to stay drama free. I try to stay out of, you know, the egos and the beefs that go on in independent wrestling, because to me it's not worth it if it's not making me any money, if it's not bettering my performance, if it's not teaching me something, I don't have a reason to be involved in it. So, to Terry, I mean, like I said, I don't know him personally. I don't know the situation. I don't know what happened. I'm sure that he has a reason for what did happen, but, you know, was it something that he could have avoided is the question. And how does he come back from it? Or does he?
Hopefully he doesn't. I'm not even going to be, I'm like we say, we keep it 100. Yeah, that, no, he don't need to come back. After that, I mean, for me personally, you don't screw the fans, screw the wrestlers and the vendors. A beautiful facility at the Morgan Center Celebration Arena. You don't do that. They, you know, those were good people. The ring rental guy was good. I mean, he even looked at me. He goes, I told him to, you know, get the sound equipment. And he said, no, we don't need to. We're good. And I told him, I said, that just shows you who he is. So it is what it is. But, you know, like you said, wrestlers and also people got to find folks that will be brave enough and brazen enough to put these guys on Front Street. And that's why I said, I'm C-Double. This is all wrestling talk. If you've been wronged as a wrestler and you went to a promotion, man, let me know. I'll put that promotion on Front Street. It's like I said, if wrestlers can get a black flagged on their name, red flagged on their name, why can't promotions? No, let's ask about that. You know, I mean, because you've run the role of booker, you've run the role of getting guys in shows.
Right.
You know, wrestlers can get a bad name in a heartbeat. You know, but promotions, it's like they, as you said, they find a way to come around. You know, so if you were able to say, what's the solution? Is it representation? Is it just being able to have people to have outlets to go to get it taken care of?
Oh, yeah, I didn't hear the last part.
Or having or basically having outlets, making sure you had like avenues, like basically if you now knowing that All Wrestling Talk, we're willing to go out and say this promotion is a shit promotion, or this guy did these guys wrong. If you're a wrestler, don't go there. You know, they're doing their people wrong. We don't want you getting screwed over.
I think that it's all, and if I've heard you correctly, I think that it's a big thing about communication with me. I like to communicate with the workers. I like to communicate with the promoters. I like to get. I like to help people because everybody is not good. We are not all gifted. You know, we're not all Daniel Bryan. We're not all AJ Styles. We're not all Undertakers. There's some very talented men and women in independent wrestling, and then there's some people who are not. And for the people who are not, it's a communication thing, man. Like, it's pulling to the side, talk to them. This business has to evolve and it has to continue. The only way it's going to continue is if we, as I think after 20 years now, I can call myself a veteran. We as veterans, for the ones who want to learn, because everybody doesn't want to learn. There's some guys out there that know everything, and you can't tell them anything. Those guys, I say, fuck you. You know, if you don't want to learn, you don't want to get better, and you think you know everything, I have nothing to say to you. I will offer my input if you ask me. You know what I mean? For those that are willing to learn, and for those that come to a building and leave their ego in the car, they come in open-minded, they come in humble. Those are the guys that I want to deal with. Those are the women that I want to deal with. Those are the people that will come constantly, in my eyes, get booked, even if they aren't that good. If they're willing to learn and they're willing to work hard and they understand what this thing is and how it works, I will always find a spot. I will always find a room for a person who's wanting to get better, or a person who has the right attitude in the locker room. You can be the best worker in the world, in my opinion, but if your attitude sucks, I don't want to have shit to do with you. And 9 times out of 10, other people don't want to work with you either. So I hope that I answered your question, because I couldn't hear like all of the question, but I just, communication to me, I am mad enough to tell anybody what needs to be said. I don't hold my tongue. I don't bite my tongue. I feel like people should respect honesty. People should respect the fact that I'm willing to come to you and say, okay, hey, you did this, but maybe you think it would have been. Or we talk about your character, or we talk about your ring gear, or we talk about, whatever it is that's going on in your career and where you are. We can discuss it, because if it's going to help make you better, I'm all for it. Exactly. I want to be respected when I leave and when I'm done. I want to be respected by my peers, because they knew that I was an honest person and I didn't bullshit anybody. I was straight up with everybody, and I wanted everybody to be as good as they could be and work up to the best of their potential as they could be.
Hey, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's what all of us want, is to be able to say, hey, just do the right thing. If you're gonna, my thing is, if you're gonna be in the ring and you're gonna have guys and you're trusting your body against the other guy.
Absolutely.
That's big. Let's talk about that. You're in this business. And we've dealt with guys. We talk about crap promoters, but we're also going to talk wrestlers where, as you said, you've been in the business 20 years, so you can actually kind of see you know those guys, the ones that, you know,
Yes.
the guys that are all about wanting to be a part of it, want to be deep into it. And then you got those guys that kind of just want to do their one match, get a couple of spots, and think that's it. You know, you also got those guys that just think this is fairy tale and they can hit the X button at any moment.
Right.
You know, how, as a wrestler, you know, because I could call you, I'll call you a wrestler and a vet, you know, veteran wrestler. I mean, because quite honestly, you know, your resume speaks for itself.
Right.
My thing is, how does it feel to you? Because I know you guys work hard. You got to get that money. You do what you can. You know, it's for, you know, families, and you're trying to just, you know, make your thing happen. But, you know, when you got guys that come in there trying to make it like $20, I mean, you know, everyone's got to have a start in the beginning. I get that.
Right.
But you got to have some, you know, when you get those guys that you just know that just not in it, you know, and you know promotions, some of them, just because they have a look, they get that look, they get it. But how does that make you feel when you're dealing with crap like that?
Well, and it goes back to what I just said about the communication. I look for passion.
Yes.
I look for passion. If a guy is passionate about what he does and a guy is passionate about their craft, they want to work with people that are better than them to make them rise to the occasion. Those guys that want to come in and just get their moves and hit their, you know, hit their finish and go over, you know, you clearly see what they're passionate. They're not passionate about the business. They're passionate about themselves. They just want to put themselves over, and they don't care about the show. Those are the guys that, you know, come in and I just, like you said, they want to get their money. And they want to make a couple of dollars. They want to get over. They don't ever want to lose. They don't ever want to put anybody else over. You know, and I don't have any room in any promotion that I'm working for, whether I'm looking it or I'm not. You know, I feel like I'm not the guy that goes around trying to blackball people. But if there's a guy that's got a screwed up attitude about working, I don't want to work with them. And 9 times out of 10, there's other people that may not say it, but they probably don't want to work with them either because it's all about them getting their shit in. They don't care about anybody. So for those, for like you're saying, like, for those people, when you work guys like that, you know, things get a little stiff in the ring at times, you know, because sometimes people have to be taught a hard lesson about this stuff. Like I'm sure if you talk to Steve Lawler, you know, Steve the Brawler Lawler, he's an old school veteran, you know, trained a lot of people. He trained my partner, you know, the Usual Suspects, he trained number one. And I mean, he will tell you, you know, you get a guy in there with a bad ego, somebody who thinks he's better than everybody else and he's not. You gotta tune him up a little bit. You know, let's humble him. Make them respect the business. Make them respect themselves. Make them respect others. Because if you don't, I mean, we can always teach you that. For those that didn't get taught that in training, and a lot of it goes back to they weren't trained properly from the beginning anyway. They didn't get the training that they needed. They probably watched a few spots on TV and said, "Oh, I can do that," or they may have worked with somebody for a few weeks and said, "I'm trained," and then they started getting themselves booked because maybe they had a good body or maybe they knew how to talk well, but you weren't completely trained and to the point where you were able to have a basic, simple match. You shouldn't even be in the ring. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of it goes back to the training, and not only do you get trained about the physical part of the wrestling, but the psychology of it. Like you're supposed to know the psychology of when to do stuff, why to do stuff, and you're also supposed to be able to conduct yourself as a businessman in the locker room. Like, you know, because this is independent contractor. You're your own businessman. It's really none of us signed no contract with no major company, so you're independent. So this is why you conduct business the right way, because if you don't, people don't want to work with you.
I hear you, man. You know, it's like you said, you know, put your work out there. You know, if you are proud, if you're training, you know, put the training in there. It just drives me nuts when you see guys that, you know, just think this is just, you know, they're very flippant about it. That's how I like to say it. You know, and you know, seeing guys that, you know, come in there, you know, you see the ones that are kind of hurting, but they're there, that they put their gear on, they're ready to go, and it's like the switch puts on, and it's like you go, wow, that's it's
dude,
like
I hurt every day.
Yeah.
Of my life, I hurt every single day. Something, my hips are bad, or sore, or my back. I got lower back issues as far as herniated discs and stuff like that. So I hurt every day. Ankle, I have fractured both of my ankles. You know, so if without the passion, you don't get dressed and get ready to go. You know, you like, screw this. I'm not going out there and putting my body through more pain and suffering and making it worse and harder on my own self. You know, you got to be passionate about it. Only a person who is this passionate about something will continue through all of the pain, through all of the agony of waking up in the morning, your back feeling sore, your feet, your legs, and everything hurting. You know, concussions, whatever we go through, broken bones, everything that the guys have gone through over the years, the people who have done it years ago and the people who are continuing to do it. If you're not passionate about this, you wouldn't get dressed. You wouldn't even get in your car to drive to the show. So for those that do that, I respect you guys and love you guys so much because I understand, because I do it as well. And for the people who, you know, who come and piss on our business and don't respect it enough to learn about it and learn your craft and become better, screw you, you know? We don't have no use for you. You're taking up space for people who are really passionate about what we do and love what we do, love the fans, love what wrestling is all about.
Exactly, man. And I'm with you on that. I mean, just, you know, because like I said, it's the lifeblood, you know, and you're putting yourself out there. And, you know, look, and the way I look at it is you may have a guy there working and being flippant about it when there's other guys that's not even able to make or would have made it and made even more of an impact. But because, you know, this person was selfish, bam, you can't have it. And which is always frustrating in that regards. Let's go back to the ring for you.
I can't hear you again.
Yeah, is that better?
There you go. There you go.
Hey, look, we gonna make it happen one way or another. Trust me.
That's right.
You know. So, all right, look. You know, let's get back to the ring because you know you've wrestled a lot of matches. I know. Who has been like your? You know, it doesn't have to be like in any order, but who are the guys that you just, when you know you're going to be going up against, you just take maybe a special smile, just knowing this is going to probably not easy, but just it's going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy it. You know, we're going to do some high impact stuff. It's going to go over well. Fans going to eat it up. You know, who are guys that just?
So in other words, who are the guys that I'm working and I know that the next 4 days of my life is going to be miserable because I know I'm going to be hurting when I wake up the next morning.
But there's two because you know you're going to be giving it up.
Absolutely. Oh man. Well, you already said one. Definitely, Kyle Matthews. Would definitely be one person because of his size. Kyle is so strong and people don't expect it because he's not the biggest guy in the world. But don't let him kick you. Kyle Matthews is someone who makes me, even though I'm a lot bigger than him, he makes me rise to the occasion. He stimulates me with the fact that we are getting ready to go out and create magic. Micah Taylor has been somebody who pushes me to a limit that is not normal. Spiral is someone who pushes me beyond those limits. Clyde Braddock is someone who does that for me. Wardell Walker is someone who every time I've ever stepped in the ring with him, I for days. And I've been pleased with the matches that, we've had, and there's been so many of them. I know I'm kind of going back with these names, and Jason Cross, I don't know if you guys remember Jason Cross. He worked for TNA, but he was a guy who pushed me to Motor One. Motor One was somebody who I learned a lot from and got in the ring with, and we beat the hell out of each other. There's a lot of people, and I'm probably forgetting people, but those guys that I just mentioned are those guys that you go out and you mentally, that intensity that I told you that I'm trying to bring.
Yes.
Those are the people who ignite it and make it that much better, because they actually will be just as intense as I will be, which only causes for us to go harder. You know what I mean? With each other.
Oh yeah.
And we all have great matches together. Well, Frankie Chiazzo, oh my God, I can't forget Frankie. I'm sorry, Frankie Chiazzo. I hate his guts. I hate him. But he's one of those people. Jagged Edge, he's one of those people.
That's the guest
this Wednesday. Leo Gold, Mike Cruz, all of that whole crew of guys. They're ridiculous. The intensity that we have, the hate that we have for each other in the ring, the physicality is ridiculous. Show Marks.
Yep.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Chip Day.
Yeah. What did you, I know Logan Creed actually, yeah, I saw some good pictures where you guys went at it and then you guys started teaming. What,
I couldn't hear you.
What about, I remember watching some promos where you and Logan first went at it and then y'all started teaming up over at the Southern
Logan, yes. Logan is very, very, very talented. And Logan, I love him to death. We've had some really good, hard-hitting matches. I have a problem saying this to him or to anybody else. The day that Logan realizes that he's a giant, he's going to destroy a lot of people.
No,
now,
yeah,
I don't think that he understands just how huge he really is. I think that he feels like he's trying to keep up with the smaller guys. Logan does stuff that big guys his size do. Logan does dives over the top rope. I mean, are you kidding me? You know what I mean? Like the day that he realizes that he's a giant, in my eyes, he's a giant. I mean, I've been told that I'm a rather large person. But when you stand in the ring with a guy like Logan and he makes me feel small, you gotta be big. You know? You gotta be. And I cannot wait for him to realize that he is a giant. Because when he does, he's gonna be that much more dangerous than he is now. Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Because, certain attributes in wrestling, that guys get, and it's like they still want to kind of stay, I don't want to say traditional, but more like a hybrid. They want to be like these guys that can do spots or want to kind of just wrestle like a small person. And it's like you look at them and you're like, dude, you're 6'8", you're almost 300 pounds. You could tear someone up. You could
I'm sorry, bro. Say that again.
Kind of what you're saying about Logan. And I'm not singling him out. But there are guys that are big guys. Like if you've seen Jeter work, the man works to his size. I mean, but yet he's fleet of foot. You gotta be able to adapt. So is that just more of a training or just more like something has to click for the guy? I think it's okay.
I didn't hear the last point. I'm sorry.
Is it more like Is it more just like because you're training with smaller guys, you kind of have to know that you can't just throw them around and beat them down, or is it more of just once it clicks and you go, wait a minute, I am 6'8". I need to use this to the advantage, and really get the crowd behind that aspect of it.
there's a lot of guys who have, you know how the WWE says that it thing?
Yeah.
They have the it factor.
Yeah.
And I hope I'm answering your question, because like I said, I was having a hard time hearing. But for those guys like Logan, once he realizes that he's a giant, he will be 10 times more dangerous. There's a lot of guys that have a look and a ability, and they just haven't found it yet. They know that it's there, but they're scared to just let it go. Like, and I'm guilty of the same thing. Like, working like a big guy, but I was trained with 180-pound guys, 205-pound guys that moved around like lightning with my 225-pound self, because that's what I was. In 1995, I was like 215, 225, and I started getting bigger. But I was wrestling with guys that were smaller than me, and I didn't realize that I was bigger than them, because I had to do the same thing that they did. So I had to find. Bill Buchanan was one of the guys that told me, dude, you not realize that you're 250 pounds now. So you have to work like you're 250 pounds. You bumping too much. You go out there and you make these little guys look huge because you're bumping for them way too much, you know? So guys need to find what it is that makes them that it goes back to setting yourself apart from everybody else. Like, you can't go out and do the same thing that everybody else does, because that's not you. Everybody doesn't look like Logan. Everybody doesn't look like Clyde Braddock. These guys are like beasts. Clyde is shorter than Logan, but Clyde Braddock will throw you from one end of the building to another if you get the damn Braddock.
Oh.
He reminds me of a Chris Benoit, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, it's just these guys just need to find. They gotta find inside of them what it is that fuels their passion, and I'm telling you, when they figure it out, it makes them that much more dangerous. And like I said, I hope I answered your question, because
you did. No. You are answering it perfectly. Don't worry. If we don't get it, don't worry. I'll make sure it's said right. But don't worry. You're doing it just fine. You're answering them just perfectly. Can you hear me now, though?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
I don't know what it is. Like, you get like real loud, and then it kind of disappears.
Yeah, like I said, hey. If I would have gotten paid, I would have had a lot of better equipment. But, hey.
You know what? I'll get in my car and I'll drive to where you are. How about that?
Might just need to do that. I mean, that'd be a really good show then. But yeah, dude, look.
We'll drink a protein shake together.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. Look, I'm a big boy, but I'll drink it. I don't mind. I'll put a little vodka in it. No problem there either. But, But no, all right. Look, we just talked about those guys, and I mean, it's great. Come
on back. All
right. I'm back now.
There you go.
Fans, it looks like I'm eating my phone. I'm really not. I promise you. Now, let me ask this, though, because I have to ask, because, you work in Alabama, you work in Georgia, where all have you worked? Is it just the South, or have you been up north?
Mostly, yeah. Mostly it was the southeastern states. Georgia, Florida, Alabama. Just recently went to Tennessee. Throughout my career, I've gone a little bit of everywhere. I did a show in Arizona once, and I've done a show in California once. But for the most part, it's mostly been just the southeastern states. And I'm from New Jersey. I'm from up north, and I haven't had the opportunity to work up that way a lot, which is a good thing, because I'm constantly booked here in the South, and I'm okay with that. But and I'm coming pretty much towards the end of my career, so if it happens, it does. If it doesn't happen, that's cool too, because I've enjoyed what I have done. Like I said, I'm just a little kid who was sitting there flipping through channels and said that I wanted to be a professional wrestler, and if I die tomorrow, I made that happen. So I'm super satisfied with what I have achieved in life, and I'm satisfied with the fans that I've met and the people that I've entertained, whether they loved or hated me or booed or cheered. They paid their money to see me or see other people, and I just so happen to be on the show. I love and respect, and you know, I'm happy with where I'm at. But yeah, Southeastern States has been most of my home. Georgia, Florida, Alabama, a little bit of Tennessee, Kentucky, did a few shows in Kentucky, and that's pretty much it.
All right, one of my favorite. I gotta go here. It reminded me. You know, we were talking, and I'm saying, I'll never forget one of the first sites I saw you. It was over at Southern Fried, and you interfered, or not interfered, but Pandora just took a beating by Jesse Bell and Shane, and then here comes AJ Steele and starts side slamming her. And needless to say, it was the most awkwardest run-in I've ever seen. But, you know, all I remember was you kept on saying, look, I'm going to get my money one way or another.
Right. Well, let's see. Pandora is a very special person. And I don't mean that in a good way. She's been one of those thorns, and me and Motor were tagging at the time, and you know, we noticed it was kind of strange that she was on all of the shows that we were. You know, and Pandora, there's probably not a tougher female in professional wrestling, in my opinion, than her. I've seen her go through a lot of stuff. I've seen her get her head busted open with a trash can, and I mean, she's a tough bitch. I mean, because she's gone through a lot. Me and Murder put her through a cable. We have beaten her. We've done a lot of stuff to this chick, and she's still around. So, I respect her ability to be. You can't get rid of her.
Nah.
You can't. She's like a fungus in between your toes. You know, not my toes, but your toes.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know.
she's a tough chick, though. I had a lot of fun beating her up. Actually, it was different, you know, under normal circumstances. I don't put my hands on women, but let me tell you how this works with me too. You know, I've been in a few intergender matches here and there, and I tell everybody on the microphone from the beginning, from the time I get there, if a woman was trained and has been in the ring with men, I am not going to not hit you. I am going to hit you. If you get in the ring with me and you're a female and you're a wrestler, I am not going to look at the gender. My intensity is, it sees no color. It sees no gender, it sees no race, it sees nothing but women. Period. That's it. So if you're a girl and you have an intergender match with me, expect to get your ass busted because I'm gonna hit you.
Hey, only fair. And you know, by the way, my boys Nitrous and Axel had to go against Jessie Bell and her partner. And let me put it this way: the term that was going around that area was sandwich. But it was a very funny situation with those two. You know, you get those guys that just kind of click with you, you know, organizations and stuff like that. But what's okay. I know. Give me a minute. Yeah, Mike. All right. Better?
There you go.
All right. In the business, you know, we got, you know, people that the fans get into it. What's the, you know, because you've worked both sides. You've been a heel, you've been face.
Yes.
What's the most creative thing? Funny? I mean, funny. It could be whatever, but just some of the things you're hearing the fans say, and hopefully, you know, because I remember you also had the thing over your face, also the bandana kind of covering your mouth and everything. Yeah. So I I got to say that has to be a very good opportunity. So if you get to see or hear something and you get to laugh without no one knowing. So
Yeah.
what ever had a moment where you just was like, man, thank God I got this on?
Well, I got a funny story where in Ozark, Alabama, me and Murder were tagging against the New Age Outlaws. We worked Billy Gunn and just Road Dogg.
All right.
And obviously nervous as hell. You know, well, for me, I can't speak for Murder, but definitely one of those matches that'll go on my top, 10 list of best matches ever. But I got my mask on, I got my hoodie on, and Billy Gunn and Road Dogg are two of the funniest guys I've ever been in the ring with. And they're cracking jokes the entire time. And they're actually cracking jokes about me. They're like, dude, he's huge. Like, I don't wanna get in, you get in. No, you get in. I mean, they're doing this whole Laurel and Hardy sort of, and I'm laughing my ass off. And Billy Gunn looks over and he's like, Wes, look, he's laughing. And the Wes says, how do you know? He says, because his stomach's moving. So I just thought that's always been one of the funniest things that has ever happened in the entire. Dude, I had to turn around and like kind of put my face into the turnbuckle because at that time I had took the mask off, so I had to kind of cover my face up because I was laughing so hard. And we beat them, but yeah, that was probably one of the funniest situations that I've been involved in, and being able to have a mask on. It's funny because I get called a lot of different names as a heel. People don't hold back, and I don't want them to. They pay their money to see and do fans, and they don't always say the nicest things. So,
boy.
You gotta react to. Sometimes you have to, like say, "Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I can't do that. I can't go around hitting fans because there's definitely been me and Murder have been in a situation where we were in Temple, Georgia, for a UIW show, and actually it's funny that you brought Pandora up because Murder went after Pandora. She was done wrestling. She was just kind of sitting back, mingling with some fans, and this was during the time that we were trying to end her career. And Murder went after her, and one of the fans went out and got some other guys, and they came back in the building with like pitchforks and hammers, and they were ready to fight her. So me and Murder, of course, we didn't back down. We moved all the chairs out of the way. We was like, come on. So they wound up calling the police, and it was crazy. But I've definitely enjoyed my career of being a heel. And I must say, I've had 10 times more fun being a bad guy than I have being a babyface.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But I love it because you don't give a damn. You go out and you say and do anything, and it gets over, whether they hate it or they love it. I've gone out and talked about people in the crowd so hard, dude, but I'm making people laugh. Like they're supposed to hate me, but I'm going out. I'll never forget. There was a lady who, this lady had the biggest feet I've ever seen on a woman in my life, and I did not know that they made flip flops that big. And so I said something about her having like flotation devices on her feet, and Murder lost his shit, dude. He was in the ring laughing. I mean, I come to entertain people, period. I don't care if I'm a heel or a face, I don't care. If those people are being entertained by me, then I did my job. Whether they're laughing at me for being stupid or if they're like, oh my God, I ain't never seen a guy get thrown on his head like that. I'm entertaining, and that's what you're there for. And I love my job, and I'll always love it. But I'm there to entertain, and that's what I do, even if it's maybe I should have been a comedian or something.
Well, physical humor is very very good.
Dude. Yeah, it's funny. When you're kicking a person's ass and then talking junk to them at the same time, it's kind of funny.
Exactly. Or you can always have the guy that yells out, "Turn around everywhere I go."
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, you
Or
know who
you could
that
have
is.
like Wicked Nemesis was in the crowd one night, and I was working a guy, or I was actually working Clyde Braddock's, and in the middle of Clyde Braddock's having me in a front face lock, Wicked starts yelling out, "He can't breathe." It just so happened that all of this stuff was going on with the whole Ferguson situation, and the cops was choking the guy out, and so I'm laughing my ass off. I mean, of course, I start yelling, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe," and it was just, not to make light of the situation, but I mean, dude, this is entertainment.
Exactly.
And this is what I do.
Well, here's the funny. Let's go ahead and go this route. Guy, like you just said, we're just talked about Billy Gunn, talked about Road Dogg, but who are guys that, man, you're in the ring with, and it's like you are trying so hard to not lose your shit, like you just said. I mean, you're doing your thing, but you can make Murder One laughing,
definitely.
I know a lot of guys will say Taco from Supernatural. They'll say him. I know he's one of those. I mean, dear God, he cracks us up at a moment's notice. But yeah, who are guys for you that every time you're in the ring with, you sometimes have to look at them, dude, please just take it easy. I mean, it hurts when I'm laughing sometimes.
The referee that they call Mason, Madman Mason,
mm-hmm.
He and I have this ongoing feud of who can pop who first in a match. He will come over to us, and you have to check your tape and check your wrist and check your, pat you down and everything. And I swear, every time he goes for the race, I jump, and because he's trying to touch my package. Or if I'll turn around like I'm being frisked by the police or whatever, and when he gets around my waist, I'll say, "Step this thing out." But I mean, there was a time where I had a guy in a rear naked choke or a reverse chin lock, and he's asking the guy, does he want to quit? And I'm talking about how I'm going to have sex with his mom. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. There's been times where I've been in the ring and I've started singing my ABCs. It's just whatever, man. Whatever I feel, whatever. I've been in the ring with guys that were young and like I was first 10 matches, I will say. You know what I'm saying? And they're nervous, they're super nervous, and oh my God, I don't know what to do. I'm out here with this animal and he's gonna kill me. And I've grabbed guys' nipples. I chopped the guy so hard his chest started bleeding. And I've done wedgies to people. I'm pretty. I mean, but like I said, it's entertainment. I just recently chopped the guy on his ass and left a handprint on his ass for like a week.
You left.
I don't know if I should have said that. I don't know if I should have said that, but it's like I said, it's entertainment.
I'll just make sure I don't bend around. I don't bend over.
Hey, you are allowed to be having on those tights that are stuck up your butt anyway. So
Exactly.
Take advantage of the situation.
Yeah, between you and Strychnine, I heard Strychnine loves to slap everybody. So oh Lord, that boy's a trip too. That's another one. So what you kind of mentioned something about your time winding down and working in the ring and stuff, but what would you like to see indie wrestling be 5 years from now? Like when it's all said and over, you get to do what you like, and you get to go to a show. What would you like to see happen for indie wrestling?
I would like. That's a very good question, and I'm glad you asked it because I have a lot to say about that. I would like for, we talked about this earlier too, I would like for guys to remember that we all had to start someplace. Nobody came into this business knowing everything. And there probably isn't a person that can say that they know everything. So what I would like to see in the next 5 years, what I'd like to see in the next year is people stop being so egotistical and stop bringing the egos to these shows and start trying to help each other, because if we all get better, it makes the product better for the fan. And the better the product is for the fan, the better the ticket sales will be. Because people are going to talk about what's good, but they also talk about what's bad. So if you're going out and you're putting out garbage product, then you're going to get a garbage crowd. You're not going to have shows that are drawing 3, 4, 5, 6, 700 people if you're putting out garbage. I really would like to see the females in Georgia, and probably more than just Georgia, probably just in general, stop bickering, stop arguing with each other about, stupid stuff, because at the end of the day, there's not a lot of females in wrestling, period.
Yeah.
So why not, instead of, I don't like this bitch, she don't like me, I heard this about her, or what, instead of that, you guys, your show, because it's not that many of them, should stick together and try to help each other out. Instead of the egos, that's my biggest issue with independent wrestling right now, and it's like the ego thing. I've put over people who, done properly, I will put over anybody in any situation if it makes sense, and it's going to get ticket sales. It's going to get people to come watch what we're doing. But I don't have an ego when it comes to that, as long as it makes sense.
Yep.
And as long as the people are understanding that this is a business and we're doing business with each other, and stop bringing your attitude and I don't want to work with this person, I don't want to work with that person. And I would like to also see people take their bodies a lot more serious. I'm not trying to badmouth anybody, because everybody can't be. I feel like I'm blessed with good genetics, and everybody doesn't have that. But everybody can work on your body, right? And for those that don't have the best bodies, I bring up guys like Kevin Owens, who does not look like Lex Luger or Goldberg or Batista. He doesn't look like. He looks like a barroom fighter. Yep. You know what I mean? He's got a pot belly. Ray Wyatt.
Yep.
These guys can work their asses off. And they don't look like they look like wrestlers, but they don't look like athletes to me.
Exactly.
But they look the part because they go out and they make you know that they can do the part. You know what I'm saying? They make you respect their ability because of what they can do in the ring. So for the bigger guys, being that I am one, don't just settle for the fact that you look like, go work out. Put your wings up. Be creative with your body. If you're going to be a big dude, be a big dude, but be a big dude that is actually doing things and using his body to his advantage to, get in shape. I've blown up. I can't say that. Clearly I'm not the most in shape person in the world, but I mean, physically, I look the part.
Yeah.
And I just really would like to see people take themselves, their health more serious as far as the way they look, and guys that get gear.
Oh, no, you did.
Part. If you're gonna be a wrestler and you're gonna be in entertainment, and that's like, how many of us want to go to the strip club and see fat strippers?
Got a point there.
Right?
Yep. Got a point.
I just made a point. That's all. I'm just saying, like, ladies want to come to a show and see guys that are good looking to them, and everybody don't gotta have abs, and everybody don't have to be rock hard solid muscle, but just be in shape for each other, for the guys that you're working with, because the better you can breathe, the better your matches are going to be.
I mean, you're not asking for everyone to have 6-pack abs, 8-pack abs.
No,
You're
no,
just
not
saying,
at all.
but
Not at all.
yeah, but you're saying make sure and just train. Make sure you're ready. Make sure that when you look at them and say, "Hey, I need you to do 15 minutes." That in 5 minutes they ain't blown up.
You can do it. You're not going to be blown up. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I say be in shape for each other, because we got to go out and work with each other. So if I'm going out and I'm working with you and I got to do a spine buster, I got to catch you off the top rope and give you a spine buster 8 minutes into the match. But 3 minutes into the match, I can't breathe because I can't remember anything that's not a healthy situation for anybody.
No, I mean, now let's also real quick. I mean, because I know everyone's got times and stuff, but I wanted to ask you, in a matchup style for you,
talk up a little bit.
When you have a match, and you're talking with you guys, are you one that wants to know bullet points, give me beginning end, or let's kind of go over the match? Where do you fit in that realm? Or call it
learned, I've learned over the years because of when I first really got rolling and started working with DCW back in the early 2000s. I was working with a lot of the TNA roster. Sammy Swackey, David Young, AJ Styles, Eric Skipper, Eric Watts. And the thing about it is that they worked TV. So they had to have everything planned out based on TV. Like you have camera angles and you got to work the hard cam and you got to know if AJ was going to do like some type of dive over the top rope, they needed to know where it was going, which side of the ring it was going to be on, and, stuff like that. So, fortunately, I come from a time where I was taught call it in the ring and just, work off of what the crowd, what's going on with the crowd, But fortunately, I was able to work with those guys and learn how to call things in the back. And, if I had to pick a style, I would much rather call it in the ring because when you have 100 things to remember,
yeah, exactly.
It makes you nervous because you're afraid that you're going to forget something. Well, it makes you very, very uneasy about the situation because even though you only got 15 minutes and you're talking about all of this stuff, it sounds like a lot, but once you actually start doing it, it goes down pretty fast. But you still, I would prefer to just call it and do things off of impulse and off of natural reaction versus calling a whole bunch of stuff in the locker room.
What I've seen is like I always went because I would be asked to help with matches and kind of come up with ideas. And I look at the guys that go, here's the finish, come up with what you like. And they're like, wait a minute, you're not going to give us any more? I'm like, guys, you're the artist. I'm just telling you the story.
Right.
Yours
and,
yeah.
Yeah, what generally in most matches with guys that it kind of just depends on who you're working, but the older school guys that I've worked with, it's usually give me a cutoff, give me the finish. That's it. Because everything else can happen. I've worked with enough people to know, if I'm working anybody who doesn't call a whole bunch of stuff, like Mudbone. I just worked recently with Mudbone in GCW not so long ago. And all we called was the cutoff and the finish. That was it. Because everything else we went out and we did because I watched him work. I watch him work, so I know what he's capable of doing, and he watches me work, so he knows what I do. And that's another thing that, you say in 5 years what I would like to see happen. If at all possible, every show could have a monitor in the back or monitors so that we can all watch what we're doing. It would really work out better because in that way you get to see what guys are putting out and you would know what they're doing. So when it's time for you to work them, you already have an idea of what they're going to do, and it makes for an easier situation to create a match with. So I would like to see that. You know, if the companies were successful enough to put monitors in the locker room, you know, that would be really good, so that everybody can see what's going on.
Well, this is the moment where C Double actually will tell you that I'm actually the guy that will do a commentary show and actually bring a monitor with me and actually hook it up to an HDMI cable and make sure the guys are watching. All I tell everyone is, if you break my TV, I kill you. So, you know, just a little message there for everybody. But, you know, hey, I'm willing to work. So, but man, I really appreciate you. I know, you know, this is kind of like your down day and everything, but AJ, you know, I appreciate you giving us this time. People have been shooting messages as we go. They love it. Man, go ahead and plug the next few shows you're going to be on. And
it just so happens that Decatur, Alabama will probably be canceled.
Sorry, guys.
I can't say that I'm going to work that show based on the events of this past Friday. So I'm definitely going to be at SSCW next Saturday. And I'm working Tommy Pinarelli, who has been sent by the Circle of Disrespect from Florida, Frankie Scout, and Simon says there's apparently a bounty on my head, and all 5'1" Tommy Pinarelli is supposed to come and get that bounty. So that should be another one of those situations where you're going to see somebody get destroyed. And as far as that goes, GCW is always the last Saturday in the month. I can't remember the date off the top of my head right now, but I know that the last Saturday of the month I'll be in Kansas City, Alabama. And the last Saturday of every month I'll be in Kansas City, Alabama. And UIW has shows. They book shows, and sometimes they cancel, sometimes they don't. If they don't cancel, August 1st will be the next show that I'll be on at UIW. And, you know, I'm on Facebook, Antoine Jones and AJ Steele, one on Instagram. And I want to say this, you asked a lot of really good questions, and there's a lot of stuff that I've had on my chest that I wanted to get off and needed to get off my chest. And like I said, I'm not going to be doing this very much longer. And so I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to say some of the stuff that I've said to the younger people. Hopefully they get what I'm saying and take it and run with it, you know, because it's really all about it's evolution. Like, the older guys fade away and the younger guys come up. And we gotta kind of really look out for each other. As far as the workers go, like we talked about with the promoters and the promoters versus the workers, so to speak. It shouldn't be that. It shouldn't be promoters versus workers. It should be we're all doing professional wrestling. We're all in the same business, you know. And I really do appreciate the opportunity that you gave me today to talk about all of those things. And I'm the kind of guy that if you ain't got nothing going on and you want to talk, we can talk. I like to talk. I like to get out. I'm real about everything. And if I offend anybody, you know where to find me.
Well, real quick, the last Saturday of the month is July 25th. Last Sunday of the month is the 26th. Guys, you know, this is AJ Steele. You definitely want to check him out on the 18th in Monroe. It's going to be Southern Fried Wrestling. Definitely want to check him out. Going against the 5'1" Tony Pepperoni or Pepnini, or watch the video that AJ, Mr. Steele put out there. It was quite hilarious. You know.
Yeah, I thought hilarious is a really good word. I thought that you know, he said that if this kid doesn't come back from my head, his family's not gonna recognize him. You know? I mean, wow.
All Wrestling Talk's going to be there. I'm going to bring Mr. Red Devil Network also with me too. So if you like, we'll bring a step ladder for the guy. But I don't think he's going to be able to get your head. I'm just saying. I mean,
that's good, bro. I'm definitely gonna upset Tommy a lot. Like I'm gonna punch him in his face a lot.
That's good. That's good. Hey, you know, the way I see it is people say playing heel is, you know, great, and I like it now because I've actually felt lately I've been a heel. So I've been telling people, you know, when you're a face, just bring that personality to you. As long as you keep the fans involved, you're entertaining them.
Well, the funny thing about it is, to me, I mean, and I have fun as a hero of face. I don't really change much.
Yeah.
You know, in my opinion, I have always been. Well, the first, let's say 5 years of my career, 6 years of my career, I probably have been a baby face, and then everything else after that, I think that I've been a heel the entire time because I have way too much fun at other people's expense. So that's got to be a heel move.
Yeah. You know what? Look, I will love to bring my crew, Law and Disorder. You know, the BND, they're the Big Nasty Division. You know, I got Bolo, I got Axel, and I got Nitrous. So trust me, if you wouldn't like, I got these guys. They can put it on lockdown for you. They'll help you out. You know, they're pretty fun. You know, trust me, and they're crazy too. So that's even better.
We can definitely talk about that at a different date, at a different time.
Oh yeah.
But we can make that happen.
Yes.
And we can definitely do that. But as far as the 18th goes, yeah, I may put Tommy over my knee and spank him.
You know what? We might need to even. What we'll probably do is have to do like a Instagram picture or something, or like a video. Post it and just say All Wrestling Talk exclusive. Tommy getting inspected. I think Tommy will be fine with that. If not, I don't think he really is going to complain much. He's he's not 6'2" for sure.
It's cool. We'll work it out.
All right, man. Well, look, I appreciate you. Just hang on, guys. This is All Wrestling Talk. I'm C-Double. This is AJ Steele. You know where to find him. Facebook. Go to allwrestlingtalknation.webs.com. That's where you're going to find all the exclusive stuff. Also on Facebook. Subscribe us on channel C-Double. That's where you'll find all the stuff. Bolo's video, along with Nitrous and Axel. You'll see them in action in Decatur. It's been uploaded. So, guys, check us out. We're going to be retweaking a lot of this. So, just hang with us. We're going to get a lot of this done. But I appreciate everybody, and we're going to rock and roll. So, once again, C-Double out. See ya.